Hey guys, this is my Julianne Hough makeup tutorial. It is, I believe, her at the Golden Globes, but I really like this makeup and I thought it would be kind of fun. I've never actually done a completely nuded out lid before and it feels a little strange. Well, I suppose it looks a little strange, therefore it makes me feel a little strange to have it on, but it's not terrible. I'd probably still go for a different color lip if I was just doing the eye makeup on its own, but she had a pretty skin colored lip. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Give me a thumbs up if you do, and as always, put your best face forward. Okay, I'm starting this look off like all of my looks, and that is with an eye primer. It just helps the adhesion of makeup and prevent creasing. And then I'm going to fill in my brows as always, except Julianne has a different shaped eyebrow than me, so I'm going to shape mine a little more than normal. She's a very rounded underneath part of her eyebrow. And the top is similar to mine, but the underneath is very, very rounded. So I had to change that quite a bit for my own eyebrows. And I couldn't do it perfectly without making it look really, really fake, which I didn't want. So I just kind of did the basics of an in-between between my eyebrow and hers. And I'm just brushing that through. It'll give it a little more of a natural look when you use anything to fill in your brows. It's always best to brush through when you're finished. Next, I'm going to be using a bronzy gold shadow pen, and that's to make every other color that we use really, really pop. Because this is just a very, very gold look. That's going all over the lid and then also under the eye. Now I'm going to be using this light gold color, and I'm applying that with a flat topped angle brush, and that's really to just get a lot of product on my eyelid. And I'm blending that over the shadow pencil until I get a buildup about where I want it, but she has quite a bit on. And this color goes up almost all the way to the inner part of your brow, and there's a little blank between your arch and the color, but the inner part of the brow it's really, really close to that, and is of course also underneath the eye. I'm just using a smaller brush to go underneath the eye so it doesn't go down onto my cheeks. Now I'm using a lighter color. This is a creamy white color. That's going right underneath the brow to highlight. And then I'm going to be using just a little bit darker cream color, and this one has a shimmer in it that's quite similar to the gold. So it'll help those two colors blend together without looking like such a shocking transition. And I'm just going to highlight the inner corner. Next I'm using a slightly darker bronze, and that's just going over the lower part of the lid, just to deepen that area up a little bit. And now I'm using this black color. I'm pushing this into the lashes. It doesn't have to be clean or neat because we're going to blend it out. This is only going to make the lash line have a little more depth to it since we are adding false lashes. And I'm using the same flat top brush I used earlier for the gold, and I'm just going to blend that out. Now I'm going to be using a brown kohl pencil to tightline my upper waterline. And of course, curl your lashes, apply some mascara, and then I'm going to apply this nude color to the inner water, or to the lower waterline. You can see I just wiped off the lower waterline with my finger to make sure it isn't too wet. It just helps the product adhere a little better. Then I'm using what's left over on the small brush I used earlier to just deepen the outside corner. I apply false lashes, obviously. And she had quite a bit of contour on the upper inner part of her nose, so I just did that. You can skip this step if you want. But I'm using a very light taupey color to do this. That way it just looks like a shadow. You don't want to use a bronze color because it's going to look fake. But if you use like a taupier color that could be a shadow, it's going to work best. And of course, conceal under your eyes if you need it. It'll help clean things up a bit too. And then I didn't like the edges left between the concealer and that, so I'm just running over that real quick just to buff it out a little. I'm using a contour here. I'm just going to contour all over my face. And she doesn't have like strong cheek or contour colors. You can tell she's contoured a little bit. So this is why I'm doing this before the powder. So as soon as I get all the contouring done, I'll add blush. And then I'm going to powder over the top of that. That way it softens everything and it looks a little more natural than having just the starker lines. And that's obviously the setting powder. Now I'm lining my lips with a nude pencil. And this is like a concealer pencil, so it's not your regular nude lipstick that's just a little bit lighter than your lips or maybe a similar color. I'm actually using the concealer pencil and a concealer pen here and filling my lips in with that because she's got some like stark lips. And it does look a little bit strange if you're not used to this. It was really awkward for me when I was looking at it. I was like, oh my gosh. So I chose to use a highlighter here to accentuate my Cupid's bow so it didn't look like such a matte area on my face. So if you use a highlighter along your Cupid's bow, it'll help that stand out a little bit more and kind of act as your lip liner. And I'm using a clear gloss and going over the top of that because their lips were very, very glossy.